African lives. What is the worth of an African life today? What is it worth to be an African? I would say an African life in Africa is worth less than an African life in Europe, in America, or in Canada. Wait a minute before you say anything. I'll give you my reasons for that. A man that lives in Africa, has family in Africa, build his life in Africa, when he is sick, there's no free health care for that man. Even if he's a taxpayer, there's no free health care. There's no social benefit for people in Africa. When you're sick, you pay your bills to get treated. When your wife delivers a baby, you are responsible for the nurturing of that child. You're responsible for sending the child to school, taking care of the home, providing. There's no governmental input in raising that child. Even the government doesn't know that child exists because our births are not being recorded in Africa. I'm not talking about the entirety of Africa. Some countries, majority of the countries in Africa, when you are born, the government don't know you exist. But compare that to Europe now. From birth, the government is aware that, we have a new citizen. And from that early tender stage of life, the government provide stipends every month for that child, provide the parents with some additional bonuses. The child gets free health care services. Some countries, you even have doctors come visit you at that very early stage of that child's life. They come to check on the child at home. It's home service. You don't have to pay a cent for that. So what does that tell? That tells that the government recognizes that a human being has been added to their population, and that human being has value. That human being needs to be nurtured. That human being needs to be looked after. And when that child grows up, he's provided with the opportunity to choose whatever career path he decides to venture into because of the free education. So your parents can't say, I know my child wants to be a doctor, but I don't have enough money to send him to med school. It's free. It's free. It's not left for the child to decide, do I want to be a doctor? Do I want to be a lawyer? What is my purpose in life? There's no financial constraint to your purpose. So your possibilities are endless. You can be whatever you want to be, and you'll be assured that you'll be taken care of by the government. But you don't have that in Africa. At least, correct me if I'm wrong. Write in the comment section what country you are from and if you have these opportunities in your country. I want to know. I'm from Nigeria. We don't have that in Nigeria. In fact, Nigeria didn't know I existed until when I decided to leave the country. I left Nigeria when I was 18 years old. So until I decided to make an international passport to travel out of Nigeria, Nigeria didn't know I existed, which is a shame. My parents didn't get any incentive, didn't get any stipend from the government. My healthcare was not covered. My parents need to pay money each time they take me to the hospital when I fell ill. So my life kind of had no value to the government. But to my parents, it did because they provided for me. They provided shelter and they took care of me. To my parents, my life was valuable. But to the country, it wasn't valuable. So how can I be patriotic to a country that wasn't patriotic to me or doesn't see me as a person of value? And then again, the moment I left Africa, I just turned 18. I left Africa immediately when I got to Europe. My life started to have a degree of value, immediately. This was even before I became a permanent resident or a citizen. I was provided the best health care a country can offer. And there was no discrimination. They didn't say, because you are not a citizen, you are not allowed to get access to free health care. I got access to free health care immediately. And I just got to the country. I gained access to free education when I became a permanent resident. That means I can go to any school I want. And the government will pay for it. What more can you ask for? This is something that my country didn't do for me. But Africa, we have a long way to go. So the value of my life kind of boosted up just because I was in the confinement of European territory. So we wonder why African professionals are deciding to leave Africa to Europe, to America, to Canada. Why are they doing that? I will tell you. I think they are doing that to up the value of their lives. The life of an African in Europe is more valuable than the life of an African in Africa. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of Africans risking their lives to cross the desert just to up their life. A package that upgrades your life. Your life becomes more valuable the day you put your feet in the shores of Europe. You have more rights, more opportunities. You have people looking out for you. The government looking out for you. Of course, you want to be a taxpayer in that country. You want to obey the laws in that country because to whom much is given, much is expected. But in Africa, we are giving underneath the pot, not the bottom of the pot, the underneath the pot, the mud, and they expect much from us. The government, the corrupt politicians, they expect much from us. Why they give us nothing? And they expect us to be patriotic, to be proud of your country. That's why I made a video about changing the names of African countries, because most of the names that were given to us by our colonial masters, they were derogatory names, like Nigeria, like Niger. These are names that are directly linked to the N-word, Then you have some Nigerians come at me and some Nigers saying, we are proud of that name. Come on. Some of them thought I was from Ghana because I made a comment where I said, I'm proud of Ghana because the moment Ghana gained independence, they changed their name from the Gold Coast to Ghana. And I said I was proud of them. But a lot of Nigerians came at me because they felt I was from Ghana and they felt they need to defend, they need to be patriotic to their countries. I'm from Nigeria as well. So why are you patriotic to a country that has failed you in all ramifications? A country that even the name was given to you. Why? A country where you don't get free education, a country where the cost of living is high, where the government they don't even care about you, they don't even know you exist. Why will you be patriotic to that country? Instead of you to join hands and fight for basic human rights. As a human being, you have rights, but you are being denied that by your government. Instead of you to fight for it, you choose to attack your brothers and sisters. You see them as a problem. When someone highlights your faults, not necessarily your fault, the fault of your country, you come on the defense. You can't talk about my country like that. At the end of the day, you are still going to suffer. Because we out here that are in diaspora, we are pretty sorted out. If I fall sick now, or maybe I need an emergency, they are going to fly an helicopter to come pick me to the nearest emergency ward. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm the richest person. But just because I'm a human being in a functioning country, they will send an helicopter to come pick me. If there's fire in this house, the next minute, you see sirens everywhere. You see the emergency unit, you see helicopter, you see the firefighters, you see the ambulance. They will be here to make sure that I'm safe. But you don't have that privilege in Africa. So we are pretty sorted out. My son can't worry about his education because he's going to get the best paid for by my taxes. I don't have to pay tuition. He can study for free. If he wants to become a doctor, study, get good grades, go chase his career. There's no financial constraint. So I can't be the enemy. The reason I'm so passionate about Africa is because I grew up in Africa. I was in the system. I experienced it. I lived through it. And I want to change because I love Africa so much. No matter where an African man goes, he can never feel at home than when he's in the motherland, in Africa. So I will keep on lending my voice to the continent of Africa, calling out the bullshit and taking off the scale in you guys' eyes so you can see the truth. A lot of people don't like the truth, but the truth needs to be said. That is how you gain education. That is how you gain knowledge and begin to see how the mismanagement in the country has blinded you. The abnormalities, we have taken it for norms. In Africa, when you are normal, they see you as crazy. But when you are abnormal, oh, yeah. When you litter the streets of Africa, they say, it's the norm. Come on, just throw it away, trash that on the street. But in Europe, it's abnormal to just litter the street. You can be fined for that. But in Africa, the abnormal behavior has become the norm. We are going to correct that. So guys, if you enjoy this kind of videos where I sit down and talk about the issues that is affecting us as Africans, please click the like button and place a comment below. Do you want more? Should I make this kind of videos more often? Let me know, and thanks for watching. See you again on the next one.